2025, a year that was supposed to bring hope. Instead, it brought a storm of tragedies no one saw coming. Just when we thought we'd seen it all, the world proved us wrong, again and again. These aren't just headlines. These are the moments that shook the globe, left people speechless, and carved deep questions into our collective conscience. Here are the 5 horrifying events of 2025 that should have never happened, but did. The first is a moment that turned celebration into carnage. New Year's Day in New Orleans was supposed to mark a fresh start, but as fireworks lit up the sky, a U.S. veteran, seemingly ordinary, drove a rented truck straight into a packed street crowd. Then he opened fire. 14 lives were gone in seconds. Joy turned to panic, laughter into screams. The city was left in shock, wondering how something like this could happen so silently, so swiftly, and with such precision. What could drive someone to do this on the very first day of the year? That's a question still echoing. Second on the list is a spiritual gathering that spiraled into a nightmare. At the sacred Kumbh Mela in India, a surge of devotees, millions of them, moved like waves through the city. But then barriers failed. First one stampede, then another. People crushed underfoot in moments of chaos, a toddler gone, dozens dead, and all under the gaze of God and devotion. How can the divine gathering of faith turn into such deadly disorder? The third horror unfolded inside a nightclub, a place meant for music, dancing, and light. In the Dominican Republic, a booming night turned into a grave when the entire roof of Jet Set Club collapsed. Over 230 souls never made it out. One moment they were celebrating, the next buried beneath steel and darkness. This was no natural disaster. This was man-made failure, and the silence that followed was louder than the music ever was. Fourth is the wrath of nature, and it came with flames. South Korea faced wildfires like never before, not scattered, not isolated. Entire regions lit up like a torch. Over 100,000 hectares burned to ash. Families fled. Cities choked on smoke. Dozens perished, including those trying to save others. It wasn't just trees and homes that burned. It was the illusion that climate change is a distant threat. The fire wasn't coming. It was already here. And finally, the most invisible, and maybe the most terrifying of all. A single cyber attack brought parts of the US to its knees. Power outages in major cities, traffic systems frozen, banks glitching, emergency networks going silent, people trapped in elevators, airports shut. And the most chilling part? We still don't know who did it. No face, no voice, just chaos, coded into silence. If war once meant guns and missiles, now it's just code, lines of text that can paralyze a nation. And just when the world thought it could catch its breath, 2 more heartbreaks slammed it right back down. A commercial Dreamliner crashing in India with no warning, leaving a trail of sorrow and unanswered questions in the skies. And a brutal terror ambush in Jammu and Kashmir, where innocent civilians were targeted in what should have been a place of peace. Now take a breath. Because this isn't a dystopian novel. This is the real timeline we're in. 5 months into 2025, and the world feels like it's unraveling thread by thread. Terror in the streets, collapse in our sanctuaries, nature rebelling, technology turning on us, planes falling, mountains crying. We used to think the future was bright, but now it's clouded with ash, fire, static, and blood. Ask yourself, are these isolated tragedies, or are they warnings stitched into the fabric of this decade? Because if this is just the beginning, then what's next?
Subscribe.